Hello everyone, welcome to another video of channel DoofTube. Today I'll be doing a video about which deaths from The Walking Dead had so far the most impact and which one will in the future. But before I get started, just want to give away a big spoiler alert, since I will be talking about who has already died in the show and who may die in the future. So if you're not up to date with The Walking Dead, do not watch this video at all. But for all here, let's get started. Starting off with the past deaths with Season 1. The first big death in Season 1 was Ed, the husband of Carol and the father of Sophia. And real dick and an asshole, and everyone hated him. So I think everyone is dead that he was killed by some zombies. Although I have to say that it wasn't really satisfying and very forgettable. But it didn't have any impact on viewers at all because everyone hated him. Next up we have Amy, Andrea's sister, who was very underdeveloped and we would have loved to see more of, but sadly we didn't. That's actually all the impact it had on us, because she was just going there for like a few episodes and then she was killed off in a very sad way. Don't know if many people remember it, but she got killed by a walker and Andrea has to shoot her when she transformed into a walker. Then we had Jim, who was actually one of the first shocking deaths on the show. I actually expected him to live a little bit longer because he was a very mysterious, interesting character. However, as it turns out, he was bit in the stomach. And that, of course, you can't heal from that. So they left him on the road and he passed out and died. And is now probably a walker somewhere wandering around. And maybe we will see that walker again sometime. Then we had the death from both Jackie and Dr. Edwin Jenner when the CSE guy exploded. And I think we're all glad that these two are dead because, to be honest, they were very annoying. So yeah, Season 1 didn't really have that great characters that we killed off and didn't really have that much impact on us. Probably also because the season had only 6 episodes, but also because these characters were very short-lived and we didn't know them so well to have a lot of impact on us. However, maybe the next deaths from Season 2 will have more impact on us. And the first death from Season 2 was Otis. It was very shocking to see him go. I mean, Shane went totally dark with this bat. He just killed Otis right in the rain and no one saw it coming, and all just so that Shane can survive and be a totally ass psycho. It was very sad and all. Then we of course had Sophia, which was a very shocking moment for everyone, since people thought she had to come back eventually after she disappeared for no reason at all. Then she turns out to be killed by walkers off screen and being put in the bar by Otis right before he left with Shane. It is not great at all and it made us think of what the hell, she was in the barn the whole time? Come on! It wasn't great at all and we were just very disappointed. The next death is Dale Horvath, and this is probably the first death that had impact on us. It was a great death at all and it was very sad because Dale was one of the greatest characters on the show who had to stick around a little bit longer, but he didn't because the actor himself wanted to quit and they couldn't find an actor replacement. However, I think the actor put up a good job, even though he didn't want to do it. and I miss still, but I got over it pretty soon. The next dad was Randall, and I really didn't like him at all. He was just pointless, boring, annoying, and then was just killed off by Shane, and for no reason at all, because he wasn't any danger to the group. And it wasn't done in a great way at all, and it was just very annoying, and I just hate his character, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it at all. The next death was Shane himself, and that death was done in a great way and at the right time. And so I'm glad that he's dead, and was definitely one of the most satisfying deaths ever. The next death was Jimmy. I don't even think you remember him, but he was just more of a supporting character, was the boyfriend of Beth, and no one really knew his name at all, but he was killed off in a heroic way where he saved Carl and Rick and then was killed by walkers. Really forgettable. Then we had Patricia, who was killed by walkers right when she and Beth tried to leave after the farm got in the fire. However, it wasn't really going well, and Patricia was soon grabbed by walkers and killed. Well, Beth was holding her hand and was dragged away by Rory. So far, season 2 has 3 big deaths, I think. Those are Dale, Sophia, and Shane. And I think that most of all, the biggest death for the audience was Dale. Then the big deaths from season 3 were starters with T-Dog. A death that was very shocking to most people. Everyone thought he was gonna stick around for a long time because he was a very interesting, great character. He was very underdeveloped, and that's why you wanted to see more of him later on. However, we didn't, and he died trying to save Carol. Then next up we have Rory, who's thankfully dead because he was one of the most annoying characters on the show. No one liked her at all. She was a terrible wife for Rick, she was an annoying mother for Carl, and she was all around just a bitch. So I think we're all glad that she is dead. Then we have Axel. Don't know if you remember him, but he was one of the prisoners the group found in the prison and was very quickly killed off by the governor and his men while they attacked the prison. And say what you want about the death, but I found it very forgettable, and I wouldn't want to see Axel more around, since in comics he stayed around until the prison attack, and in the show he's quickly killed off in one of the least greatest ways ever. The next big death was Merle. After disappearing in season 1, he came back around in season 3, having no arm and having a metal arm with a fucking blade on it that was awesome as hell. And now he is dead, going on a suicide mission, going against the governor and being killed off in one of the most forgettable ways possible, and it just wasn't really that great. The next big death was Milton. I don't think any of you remember him at all because he was one of the most forgettable characters on the show and also killed off in one of the most forgettable ways possible, but still was a very interesting character and died as a hero trying to protect Andrea from the governor. However, that of course led to the death of Andrea and was maybe sad, maybe not. Say what you want about it, but Andrea was definitely the worst character on the show so far. I don't think they're gonna create a character that is worse than Andrea because she was annoying, slept with every villain on the show. I mean, if she was still around, she was probably going out with Negan right now, and that's not good at all. And just all around a total annoying girl. I think we're all glad she's dead, and that we hate her being so terrible, unlike her comic book version. The next season is season 4, and the first big death in that season was Karen, Tari's girlfriend, who was killed off by the flu, a very weird disease that overall spread itself over the prison and killed many other inmates. Thankfully, all those killed inmates were more supporting characters. Then the next big death was Caesar, Governor's sidekick, and I think we all didn't give a shit about the death and were glad that he was killed off. Then one of the biggest deaths so far, and one that was done in a great way, and is the death of sad old Herschel, the character we all loved from the very start of season 3. Everyone liked him, he was done good, however he was killed off and he was beheaded by the governor during the beginning of the prison battle. Then the next death was the governor, and that was done in a great way, very satisfying, and I think that everyone liked it. So say what you want about it, but I'm glad that governor is dead because that guy was a freaking psycho. The next big deaths on the show that were very shocking and very fucked up, as I might say, are the deaths of both Lizzie and Mika. Mika was killed by her own sister Lizzie because she wanted to prove that walkers are just like humans, only then innocent. And that is just not okay, Lizzie. You're messed up in your head. You're a freaking psychopath. I mean, you may be a nice girl in real life, but you're totally psycho in the show. So Carol makes the right choice to kill this little psycho and shoot her right in the head and just tell her to look at the flowers. Then the next final death of season 4 was Joe almost having one of his men raping Cole and just threatening Rick and the rest of his group and almost beating Daryl to death. It just wasn't great at all, and I think the death of Joe was done in an awesome way and we all loved it. The next season is season 5, one of the most divisive seasons on the show so far, and I say it went through some bad moments, but it was also full of awesome moments. For example, the deaths of our following characters, starting off with the death of Bob. Bob was very nice, everyone liked him pretty much, and that's why I wanted to stick him around a little bit longer. But of course we needed the iconic scene, Tainted Meat! And that wouldn't work without Bob being bitten by a walker. We all didn't like it, but it happened and it was done great. The next big death was of course Garrett, and that was done in another really satisfying way. However, it was done very quick in my opinion. I actually hope that they would stick around a little bit longer. The next big death was Beth, and I didn't like it at all because it made the whole hospital storyline very pointless. I mean, it did bring in some more development for Noah, but he was later also killed off very quickly, so the hospital storyline didn't have any purpose at all, in my opinion. I think Beth should have stayed around a little bit longer since she just started to become a very interesting character. I liked her. I first off found her very annoying, but in the end I started to like this girl. She started to become a real badass and I wanted to see more of her, but we didn't. As such, she was killed off very quickly and no one liked it at all. However, I think they should have sticked her around and maybe not have the hospital storyline at all. I think that if they just get the cannibals a little bit longer around, let's say until episode 8, maybe then let them be killed off, and then on the second half, we would have the Alexandria storyline, and then Beth turned out to be all the time at Alexandria instead of being at a hospital. That would be a way better choice and not a terrible choice. Then Beth could have sticked around a little bit longer, could have given her more development, and we would have liked her even more. Sadly, they didn't do that, and instead let her be killed in one of the most saddest way possible. However, it did have a satisfying death for Dawn, quickly shot by Daryl after she shot Beth right in the head. The next big death was Tyrese, and that was done in one of the most depressing ways possible. It was really shocking also. I mean, he was just standing around in a room and then was bit by a little walker, and Noah went to help and he was too late. Tyrese got his arm chucked off and died of both of us. During his death, he sees all the dead people, and it was just horrible to look at. However, I'm still gonna miss that guy. He was great. He was a great character. Then the next death we had was Noah. Really quickly killed off. That made the hospital storyline even more pointless than it already was. And just all around not great at all. But I have to say, his death was very messed up. He was just killed by several walkers, and we were forced to watch him being ripped apart by walkers. We just saw his whole mouth and face and eyes being torn open. It was not great to look at it at all. The next deaths were the deaths of both Rec and Pete, and they were killed in a very great way to end the season in an awesome way that everyone liked, and it was shocking and satisfying. The next season, which was one of the best seasons of all time in The Walking Dead, and that's season 6. Starting off with the death of one of the worst characters on the show, Nicholas. And I think we all didn't give a shit about him killing himself because he couldn't take it anymore. We all hate this character and we're glad that he's dead. And the next big death was Deanna, our owner of Alexandria. Her death was really done well, and I think we all didn't want to see her go that way. Then the next death was of course the death of both Sam, his mother Jesse, and the brother of Sam and son of Jesse, Ron. And this death was by far one of the most fucked up and shocking deaths ever. I mean, we all saw Sam coming, we all saw Ron coming, but we didn't see Jesse die. It was not great at all to see her go because she just started to get interesting. And sadly, she got killed by walkers as well as Sam. And then Ron stood up against Rick and wanted to kill him, but got stabbed in the back by Michonne and was then also eaten by walkers. It was shocking, great, and just not really done at the right time for Jesse then. I mean, it was good that Sam and Ron were dead, but Jesse being killed off was just not that great. I would have liked to see her around a little bit longer. Then we got Owen, the death that really pissed me off. Really pissed me off. It really pissed me off very much because the wolves were very interesting villains. They were very mysterious and they were killed off without even being explained. The only left wolf was Owen himself. During the zombie attack on Alexandria, he was shot by Carol and then let himself be eaten by walkers because he thought there is no way he's gonna live. Carol was heartbroken to see one go, that it was her fault and it wasn't a real good choice. And it was not great at all, and I was very mad because he was the only one that could explain what was the deal with the wolves, and it could have caused some redemption, but it didn't. And now Owen is killed off in one of the most forgettable ways possible, and I just hate it. The next death was Denise herself. After she tried to help Owen, she was killed by Dwight's arrow, shot right to her face, and I think that was one of the greatest deaths ever. However, did you care about it? No, you didn't. Then next season, season 7, which is possibly the worst season of the show so far, but whatever. The show is still going on, and let's just hope it gets better over the years. This death had the first really big death, and that was the death of Abraham, and that was not great at all. We all wanted him to stick around a little bit longer, but he didn't. And I didn't like it. I liked Abraham. I just started to like him. I really did. Then quickly after Abraham was killed, Glenn got himself killed too, and that was one of the biggest deaths so far, I think. I think people had a very hard time witnessing the death of Glenn. It was very sad. The next big death was of course Spencer, and that was done in a very great way. I liked it. Very well done, Negan. You've done it. You killed one of the worst characters on the show in one of the greatest ways possible by cutting out his entire guts. The next death that was quickly killed by a rat ordered by Negan was Olivia, and it was forgettable as shit, but it was still great. The next big death was one of the most saddest deaths on the show so far, and that was the death of Benjamin, and I missed the guy because I would have wanted him to stick around a little bit longer. He was very interesting, but for some reason they killed him off to develop Morgan more and more, and to bring Henry to the spotlight, which was a terrible choice because he is one of the most annoying characters on the show from today. The next big death of this season was Richard, and Richard was done in a very shocking way. Very shocking. I mean, Morgan, what the hell is going on? Why did you do this? I mean, he was just going to redeem himself, and then you kill him. Why? Why would you do that? I don't get you at all, Morgan. You're just a confusing character, and I'm glad that you moved over to Fear the Walking Dead. However, I hoped you would have been killed off. The next death we all saw coming was Sasha, and it may have been sad, it may not have been sad, but I think we all saw it coming, and it was just done in a great way, and no one is gonna forget that moment ever. Then season 8, one of the most pissed off seasons ever, started off with another great death, and that was the death of Eric. It really developed Aaron more and more, and it's gonna bring a great future for Aaron. I'm interested to see where it goes. Then the next death was Morales. That really pissed me off, because Morales was a very interesting character, and then he was quickly killed off by Daryl in one of the most forgettable ways possible. I hated it. The next death was Natalia, killed by Enid, and I'm just surprised that the Oceanside still came to help them, because when you kill someone's leader, and also the very grandmother of the next leader of Oceanside, you're not gonna get them on their side. However, they did, and it was done in a very satisfying way. The next death was Gavin, and I think that was a very dark moment for Henry, and really made me have more thoughts about where this kid is going, and what is he doing, and what for more stupid choices is he gonna do. Well, we will see. However, what was the next death? The next death was the death of Carl. That pissed off everybody. You, Scott Gimple. Cole Grimes is the most important character on the show. And what you do, you kill him off in one of the least greatest ways possible. Just because you think it's the only way to have Rick not kill Negan. Well, it's not. I mean, later in the season, Jared got killed, and a lot of our saviors, and then Morgan said to Rick, we did something bad, we just killed innocent people that were good, and that totally changed Rick's mind. So I think that should have been enough to turn Rick good again and let Negan leave. Then Carl would have been still alive today, and maybe Chandler Riggs wanted to quit, but they just could have been recasting him, which was a much better choice than just let him be killed off. Because I don't see any good future of The Walking Dead now, and I'm just hoping they do the next few seasons the right way, now that there is no Call. The next death, which was very shocking, was the death of Dr. Harlan Carson, who also pissed me off because I wanted to stick him for him a little bit longer around, and now I wonder how Meg is gonna get the baby, because I don't think Siddiq is really the doctor for getting someone's baby out of there. The next big death was Tobin, and Tobin was done in a very great way, killed off, and I don't know if you liked it or if you cared about it, but it was really sad for Carol. The next death was Jared, and I think we all liked it to see him go. Then the next death was Simon, and that was very done, really great. I liked it a lot. Then, of course, the biggest deaths in the show so far are, I think, Tyrese, Herschel, Abraham, Beth, Glenn, and Cole. And I think the biggest death for us all was Cole. After that, Glenn. After that, Beth. After that, Herschel. After that, Abraham. And then Tyrese. It was a hard time for us, but we made it. And now I'm gonna talk about which deaths will have the most impact in the future. With that, I'm going to all the important characters who are now still alive today, and I'm gonna predict who is not gonna make it to the end and who will. Now, first, I'm gonna talk about characters who are definitely safe / unknown. These are just the characters which I'm either sure of they're gonna die, or which I'm not sure of whether or not they're gonna die or not. Starting off with Rachel, a girl who to me seems to get a relationship with Henry, since they're about the same age, and since Henry is taking over the Call storylines, maybe Rachel will take over the Sophia storylines. We don't know. It does sound very interesting. I mean, then you may ask what is gonna happen to Enid. Well, that is actually unknown for me too, but I have a strong feeling that Rachel and Henry are gonna get together in the future. However, I don't know what part she's gonna play in the future. Maybe she will play the Sophia part, and maybe she will even play the Lydia part. Although that she won't be part of the Whispers, but will have a relationship with Call. We'll see what will be the future of them. However, another character which I'm not sure about whether or not she's still alive by the end is Judith. I know where she is going, and I don't care so much because she's just a little baby. However, I think it would have been a better choice for her to just be already killed off, because it's now becoming a little bit unbelievable that she's still alive. But let's just wait and see what happens to her. The next character is Henry, of course, because we don't know where he's going. Maybe he will stick around, maybe he will not. However, let's just hope that he is going to become a much better character, since he's now one of the most annoying characters on the show. Then next up is Enid. Now that Call is dead, we don't know what is really left for her. Maybe she will take over the Call storyline, and then will Lydia from the comics be a boy named Lionel or Leiden? We don't know. However, I'm interested to see where she goes, and I'm hoping that this will be a good future for her, because I like her character, I really do, but so far I've mixed thoughts about what's gonna happen to her. Then next up is Jesus. As he's still alive in comics right now and is a very great fighter, he is guaranteed to stick around for a long time. However, he does look like a character who could get himself killed. So that leaves me having mixed thoughts about his fate. Then the other character is, of course, Maggie. Now that the actress has uncertainty agreements of still being on the show, we just hear that she is going to be in season 9. However, the actor has had some problems with the makers. They want her to stick around, they don't want her to stick around, we don't know. However, the actress is definitely gonna quit in the future, I have a feeling she will. And then we don't know what's gonna happen to the character. Maybe she will be killed off, maybe she will stick around. I do think she's gonna kill off, because just doesn't make sense, because General Riggs got fired and Gall's killed off, as well as other actors who are killed off, who are fired, and the characters got killed off. So I think The Walking Dead has this deal that they don't recast people. If an actor wants to quit or gets fired, their character goes too. That's just the way it goes, I think, because they don't like to recast people for some reason, although that is really a better choice than just killing off the character. Then there is, of course, Michonne, who I don't know what her path will be, but I'm hoping that she sticks around, and I also think that she sticks around because she is a very powerful character. She is really strong and can fight a lot, and maybe she will in the end have a happy ending with Daryl, who I'm sure of is gonna live to the end, because they're scary setting up that he will be the last man standing, and I think we will all root if he dies, even though he's not in the comics. Then we get to the deaths who are now definitely gonna die, starting off with our secondary characters, Laura, and she is gonna die, but we don't know when, and it's definitely coming, and she's still alive in the comics right now, so we don't know what is really gonna happen to her, but expect her to die sooner than you think. Then next up is Gregory. As we know, he dies in the comics, so of course he is gonna die in the future. However, we won't give a shit about it, we just cheer because he is one of the worst characters so far. Then we have, of course, Aurora, who is Tara in the comics, and we don't know what's gonna happen to her either. I think she will have the same fate as Laura, just die in some way. It's just not really seen. However, I think it will be a great death, and it will come sooner than you think, and it will be done right. Then there is Cindy and the rest of Oceanside. I just have a feeling that Oceanside is, in the end, not gonna make it, and is going to get destroyed by some people or not, I don't know. However, I think that all Oceanside people are not gonna make it to the end, including Cindy, and it may be sad, but let's just hope that they do it in the right way. Then next up is Jerry, who is definitely gonna die to make Ezekiel cry and have him feel bad about it and all. However, it does leave some more moments to come for Sherry. Then the other death that's definitely gonna happen is the death of Siddiq, since they're clearly setting up, even though he's just got introduced. And now that Cole is dead, he said, "I will honor you." And I don't think he's gonna stick around that long. Why? Because he is a doctor, and doctors don't stick around that long, as we'll see in season 8 and 7. Also, when someone is saved, they're likely not gonna stick that long around. I mean, look at Glenn. He was saved by Herschel and got killed. Then the final character is Al, and Al is becoming a more important character. I actually think that he's gonna take the part of a really great character from the comics who eventually falls in love with Maggie, and that is Dante, who also falls in love with Maggie in the end and gets a happy ending, but may get himself killed in the future. And I think that if he's going down that path, he will get himself killed, because as I look to Dante now, he's gonna make a terrible choice and get himself killed. Even though he is now the boyfriend of a really smart girl. Then we have the main characters who are not gonna make it to the end, and they include, first off, Aaron. As is seen, he could get pretty weak and get himself killed on multiple occasions. And I think that eventually that's gonna get him killed, even though he's still alive today in the comics, but it's not really that well. Also, he's building up a relationship with Jesus right now in the comics, because they're both gay, and it's very cute and all, but as we know, The Walking Dead isn't good with happy endings for couples. So that means that one of them has to die. And because Jesus is too beloved and too strong of a character, I think the best character from them to kill off is Aaron. So if Aaron is gonna die in the comics, then of course he's eventually also gonna die in the show. And it's going to be very sad. Then next character is Heat, who is, call me racist, but I'm not a racist, it is just the truth. Minority characters on The Walking Dead don't stick around that long. It has been true with T-Hawk, Tyrese, Noah, and etc. And it's gonna happen to Heat, even though he's now disappeared and we don't know what is going on with him, but I think he's still alive and may come back somewhere at season 9. Then the next characters are Sherry and Dwight. And I think it's scary that they're gonna die, since Sherry dies in the comics, standing up against Rick and going with the Saviors to take over the world again. And Dwight is gonna get himself killed eventually, because he's gonna make a very terrible choice. Then there's Ezekiel, who is definitely dead because he dies in the comics getting beheaded by the Whispers. And it's gonna be very sad for Carol. Then of course Carol is gonna die eventually too, because she is very old, and when you're old you're gonna get killed eventually. Also, she's always trying the good thing, and good people are dead. That is what we know. Also, they're setting her death up, and yeah, it's just a big feeling that she's not gonna stick that long around. Also, in the comics she dies. She dies. However, she would have been died all along very long ago. So she survived her comic book death. However, Abraham did that too, as well as several other characters, and they all died in the end. So Carol is definitely gonna die, and it's going to be done in a really, really sad way. Then of course we have Gabriel, since he dies in the comics, and may have survived infection, but that still doesn't keep him safe from dying in the way he dies in the comics. Then next up is Terra, who is now becoming one of the weakest characters on the show, and is definitely not sticking around for that long. However, it is going to be done in a really good way. Then there is of course Eugene, who may be still alive in comics, but is definitely gonna die because they're clearly setting up in both the comics and the show. And he's just getting weak and all, and I think that he's gonna get himself killed. Eventually. Then there's of course Rosita, who's also gonna get herself killed because she's going to multiple missions that are totally dangerous. And she also dies in comics, can be headed by Whispers. Now you may say, now that Terra is still around, and it will be perfect for her to do that, that she gets that gets replaced by Terra. So instead of Rosita getting killed by the Whispers, Terra will be killed by Whispers. But that could happen, that could not happen. We don't know what's gonna happen for her. But if it's gonna happen, Rosita is gonna get killed in the end after all. Since she is just gonna get herself killed. She is dumb, sometimes smart, but she is also making dumb choices, and one of those dumb choices is gonna get her killed. Then the next death we're gonna get is of course Negan. And he's gonna stick around for a long time now if you know the comics. But eventually he will die as the comics are setting it up, and bad people of course are not gonna live. They're not. They're not gonna make it to the end. Now you may say that Negan eventually turned good, but if you have done something bad in the past, you're still gonna get paid for it in the end. So Negan is dead. Then lastly there is Rick. It has been confirmed by Robert Kirkman himself that he will kill off Rick eventually and let Judith be the main character. Say what you want about that decision, but it is happening, whether you like it or not. I think that these deaths will all hurt us a lot, and I think the biggest deaths for us will of course be Rick. But for me, since Rick is getting a little bit annoying, since Rick is getting a little bit psycho, for me the saddest death of these ones will be, I think it has to be Rosita. Because she is a great character. I just would hate it to see her go. I mean, she's just going to real bad, and I really like her, and I also hope that she gets a relationship with Daryl, since they're really great together and have a lot in common. So I'm hoping that she sticks around a little bit longer than she does in the comics, and then eventually get killed off to develop Daryl more and more. But overall, we will be sad when these characters are gonna go. Now that was the end of my 2-part video. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me in the comments below which death was the most meaningful for you, and which death you think will happen in the future, and which death will have a very big impact on you in the future. Tell me in the comments below, and I see you next time.